Caitlin was the kind of person people remembered in bright details. She was beautiful and smart. She loved to shop and dance. She moved through life with an easy humor that drew friends close. The people who knew her best described her as glitter because she stood out wherever she went. She changed her hair often, wearing different colors like a signature. Purple was a favorite, a color that seemed to fit her energy. Caitlin traveled for music festivals. She went far from home, sometimes across the world, chasing the feeling of a crowd and a beat and a night that felt endless. In her circle, she was known for dancing, for shuffling, for turning a simple moment into something bigger. She also loved her daughter, Milani. At the time her story turned dark, Caitlin was single. She was moving into a new apartment. She was starting over, rebuilding her life in a way that felt hopeful. The people close to her did not feel afraid for her. In their minds, she was nearby. She was close to family. She had a new place. It felt like a safe chapter. Then one early morning, everything shattered. It started with a child walking into a bedroom. A roommate's daughter came to wake someone up and said something was wrong with Mommy. She said Mommy would not wake up. In the quiet hours before sunrise, those words landed with a terror that could not be misunderstood. A person can sleep deeply. A person can be sick. A person can be slow to respond. But a child saying someone will not wake up changes the air in a room instantly. A call went out for help. At 5:35 a.m., another phone call came through. Caitlin was described as unresponsive. CPR was happening. IMS was already there. Family members were jolted awake into panic. The only thought was the baby. Milani was in that apartment. Milani was there while adults moved fast, voices rose, doors opened, and strangers arrived with equipment in urgency. Someone rushed to get Milani first. The baby was in the living room. She was there while the emergency unfolded nearby. When she was picked up, she melted into the arms holding her, a small body giving in completely, as if she could sense that the world had tipped off balance. In those first moments, the scene began to take on a familiar shape to the people responding. Questions came immediately about drugs. Did Caitlin do drugs? Did anyone in the apartment do drugs? Did someone give her something? Did she take something? Was this an overdose? An overdose? There was a reason those questions felt automatic. Under Virginia law, overdoses carry protections meant to encourage people to call for help without fear of punishment. But the effect in that apartment was different. The focus locked on to overdose before the full story was even known. The people closest to Caitlin rejected it. They insisted she did not do drugs. They insisted it did not fit who she was. They insisted she did not live that life. Still, the early assumptions held. Caitlin was transported. She had received CPR. She was alive during the chaos. She had a heartbeat. In those hours, hope stayed stubbornly present because the body can survive so much and because families often cling to the smallest sign of life like it is a promise. In the hospital, the weight of the situation pressed harder. At one point, a chaplain was offered, the kind of move that signals the medical team has already begun preparing for the worst. But Caitlin's family refused to accept that ending. In their minds, she was going to be okay. She was young. She was strong. She was strong. She was not supposed to die in a new apartment while her daughter waited in the next room. Then the truth changed, not slowly, but all at once. A hospital tech took Caitlin's mother aside and walked her outside. Away from the hallways, away from the noise, away from the thin hope that comes from hearing machines and footsteps and believing something can still be fixed. The message was simple and final. It was not drugs. Someone hurt her. Someone hurt her. In that instant, Caitlin stopped being a possible overdose case and became something far worse. The moment cut through every earlier assumption. It reframed the entire morning. It turned the apartment into a scene with a hidden act inside it. An act carried out while Caitlin was building a fresh start and caring for her child. The question that followed was the same question that follows every case like this. Who would want to hurt her? To the people who loved her, Caitlin did not have enemies. She loved everybody. Everybody loved her. She was the kind of person who collected friends, who made people laugh, who danced through life in a way that felt open and harmless. And yet she was hurt anyway. Her mother carried the shock like a wound that never closed. She held on to Caitlin's name. She held on to the need for accountability. She held on to the belief that telling the story mattered, even when people did not agree on how much should be shared. Because in the end, Katlyn was not just a headline or a rumor or a theory. She was a young mother who loved her daughter Milani. She was a woman starting over, getting a new apartment, planning the next chapter. She was glitter and humor and festival lights. She was the purple in her hair and the dance steps her friends still remembered. And after that morning, she became a loss that demanded an answer. Her family did not stop. They did not stop saying her name. They did not stop insisting it was not an overdose. They did not stop pursuing justice for Katlyn because the truth had already been spoken in the clearest way it could be spoken. Someone hurt her, and Katlyn's story was not going to be allowed to disappear.